What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with the lovely.
Tiftastic.
Yeah, and so we are just coming in. It's Tuesday night, and we are getting ready to talk about and do our review for The Flash, Season 5, Episode 13,
Yes.
Goldfaced. And we're going to talk about that. People are coming in live, and we're going to give everybody a chance to do that. I know that kind of a busy night for everybody. The president is on right now.
Yes.
But I know that there's a lot of people who probably aren't interested in that right now, so they're coming on here. But that's okay. And then there are people who are interested in that, and I'm interested in it too. I'm just taping it right now so I can watch it later. But we want to talk about this. What's up, William? Good to see you, bro. What's up, Thomas Dang? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. It's been a good week. It's been a good week here in Nerdville, as it were. In Nerdville, as it were. So, lots of cool stuff to get to. And I don't think Isaac's going to be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, he's not feeling well. So we're just going to hit all this stuff real quick and go through it. So, first of all, Tiff,
Yes.
this episode.
Yes.
What'd you think of this episode of The Flash?
I thought it was different, but I still liked it. I like when they break off from the norm of having, like I missed Snow and I missed Vibe and everything this week.
Yeah.
But I do like when they have like Dibney and Flash and you kind of, delve into those stories. I thought as much as you guys talk about Iris and the negative, I thought she actually kind of stepped up a little bit and kind of kicked butt, just, going to Cicada's house by herself and getting, trying to get these answers. To the point that by the end of the episode, when she picked up that pen that she stabbed him with, she's like, I know how we can give him the cure. So
Exactly.
I thought they kind of, changed up a little bit of, the different characters, which I thought was cool.
I agree with what William just said here. So last week's trailer did not really do it for me.
Yeah.
And it didn't really make it look interesting to me. So, but
Is that why you were making crepes?
no, just because I was hungry.
I'm joking.
And sometimes you got to make crepes.
Sometimes.
But the thing is that last week's trailer it just wasn't that great. To be quite honest with you, and it wasn't. I didn't think it was a really good setup for what the episode was going to be about.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of worried. I'll still say it wasn't a great episode. This is probably the first episode of the season that I didn't feel was great.
We got
It
to
was
see the
good.
plethora of Wells's exes.
Yes,
That was funny.
there were a lot of good elements to this, so I don't want to take away from that. I just wouldn't say that this one was great. So far, every episode has just like knocked it out of the park. We've gotten 12 episodes in a row that it just seems there was
Bam, bam,
some
bam.
component about it that just made it, just awesome. This one, I mean, yes, we got to see Wells's ex-wives. We got to see Reverse Flash.
Wells's
and
exes.
we got to see that whole kickoff with Nora and Reverse Flash and how they're working together and the whole scheme to get Sherlock off the trail and onto something else. And I thought that was brilliant. That was really great. So all that was really good. I also liked. I did like the Iris thing where she went in there, but the Cicada thing is starting to get a little played out for me. Because he's just sober serious and I know Caleb mentioned the fact that he had surgery or whatever, so that's why his voice kind of sounds like that. But also there's a lot of overacting going on there.
He always has been an overactor.
And so because of that, I'm still in that camp to go, well, okay. So when I see these long drawn out scenes, it seemed like the scenes with Iris and Cicada just were really drawn out. Like it was just really slow paced and just kind of, like I said, drawn out more and more and more and more.
But it was a creep factor though when all of a sudden she's talking to him and Cicada, and then she goes and she's like, well, I'll just talk to you tomorrow then, and picks up her purse, and he's like, you didn't come in here with that.
Yeah, and then it like picks up.
That was creepy.
Yeah, so then it like picks up real quick, right? And so there were moments there. There were definitely moments there. And then the whole other plot with Dibney and Barry, I thought it was cool to see them not be able to use their powers.
And realize they could still beat the bad guy without using powers.
Yeah, for sure. I
So
did
if you
like
did
that.
dampen them, it was kind of like a foreshadowing. If they dampen them, we know we can still kick butt.
Yeah. I did like the fact that they kind of showed how Barry like was not using his brain. He's not using his brain. by going in there and asking if he could buy all of the weapons and stuff. He's going more with his
Yeah.
emotions and everything.
But then he turned around and kicked butt, and he was just like, "Call me the chemist," and it was like
Yeah.
trying to be all BA.
Yeah. So that was good.
Yeah.
What did you think of Goldface as a villain?
I've had better. I don't know what else to say. He wasn't.
I know.
He wasn't awesome. He wasn't bad. He wasn't good. He just was there.
He was just kind of there.
Until they melted him, and he had gold coming out of his
And
eyes.
he's still alive. I see. That's what I didn't understand. Because my first thought was like you electrocute him. What's up, Arturo? Good to see you, brother. So I mean, like you melt him. Like, isn't that like the whole thing? Like he's gold. Like
Every time you say it, all I can think of is gold member.
gold
And
member.
that's
Well, Thomas Dang
gold.
just said Goldfinger.
Yeah,
From
that's
James
what
Bond. I mean, so that too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it just I don't know, man. Goldface just seemed to be. He was just. I liked him more at the end,
Yeah.
right?
If they had
Big
more
Tasty
of that,
says he was thinking the same thing, Goldmember. So
Yeah. It's made of gold.
and you're right, William. He wasn't really super significant. Like
No.
I liked him a little bit at the end with the fight at the
If
end.
he would have been like he was at the end the entire episode, maybe it would have been a little different. but
Yeah,
he
and the
wasn't.
fight, the laser tag fight, the G.I. Joe laser tag fight. Now, I love me some G.I. Joe, so I love blue and red lasers, because that's, the other 50% of the battle.
Yeah.
Half the battle is knowing, and then half the battle is blue and red lasers.
Yes, it was.
So I like that, but it was like they were in real close proximity. G.I. Joe. But they were in such close proximity for not like doing anything to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Right. And so, that was one thing. But yeah, when he hooked him up to the electricity and it melted him, I was like, oh, well, he's dead. And my first thought was,
You leaked gold from your eyeballs.
yeah. So my first thought on that was, so you can't use the gun on kill setting, but you can melt the dude's skull and whatever else he's made
I
of.
picked up that liquid gold. That's worth money, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, pick it up. Fund some of what you're trying to do.
We got bills to
I
pay.
don't know. But yeah, so he was just kind of there for me. It's like one of those few kind of swing, and I don't know. It's more of a foul ball than it was a strike, but it's
Yeah.
still a strike. You know what I mean? So they hit it, but it
Like you
didn't
said,
quite
there were
hit
good
right.
elements. There were good things about it, but it wasn't like top 10. It was, but
Yep.
it was good.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. His winky is the what?
Is the key.
Is the key.
Nice.
What's up, Chicken Wing? What's going on, brother? Braden. So let's see here. Yeah. So I mean, it was a good episode. Like I said, it wasn't great. It wasn't the best episode of the season, but it was definitely a good episode. A lot of good things
Came from it.
happened in this episode.
And it's setting it up for what looks like an awesome episode next week.
Yes. Oh, and that so that so Nora ends up succeeding in her plan to
With the reverse flash.
with the reverse flash to
They kind of pulled it back and forth where they showed them talking, and he says, well, you got to do this, and if you do this, then we can continue what we're doing.
I did like what Reverse Flash said in the very beginning, that he you don't use somebody else's face without knowing everything about them
Very true. That was
across
very clever.
across different universes,
Well
across
said.
different whatevers. You're gonna get to know who they are and what they're about, and so I thought that was a great statement.
Yes, that was.
And kind of shows us where Reverse Flash is coming from, with some of that.
Which
So-
shows you the next level of bad guy that he is. To be
Yeah.
like, look, I got this face, I need to know.
He's Reverse Flash. That's why he
I
is.
got to know.
That's why he is the number one
Mm-hmm.
enemy, right? I mean, that's what it is. What do you think will be the best fit to replace Ben Affleck as Batman? Okay, so we're gonna get to all that stuff here in just a minute, but let's finish up this real quick, and that is so episode was great. Then we get the teaser for next week's episode, which looks amazing. I mean, how do you go from having like such a blah
And you're
trailer?
not even going to be here for that show.
I'm not
next
going to be
week.
here for that episode. So they'll still be watching it live. But I'm out of town. I got to go to a conference next week, and so so I will not be watching it live with you guys next week, unfortunately. Maybe I can sneak in and in on the chat or something like that, and do that. But I'm going to be down in.
I'm supposed to be at work, but
I'm going to be down Williams Way, down in Kansas City. So I will be there next week.
He says you could come watch with us.
There you go. There'd be a cool watch party, wouldn't it? Like, I could show up over there. We could watch the Flash live, literally at Williams' house in Kansas City. There you go. Yeah, and chicken nugget is there too. That's right.
Chicken nugget, chicken wing.
Chicken nugget, chicken wing. So yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that just because I'll be in my conference probably, but that would have been cool. That'd be cool. It'd be cool to know that you guys are that close.
Yes.
During that time. So yeah, that'd be cool. And who knows? I don't know what you guys got going on, but maybe hit me up sometime. Maybe we can do a little meetup or something. That'd be kind of cool too. So anyways, so that's, so next week's episode though looks phenomenal.
Yes, it does.
Just in, I love the whole, Groundhog Day kind of thing.
Yes. It looks like Groundhog's Day and Happy Death Day had a Flash baby.
Yes.
That's what it looks like, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Thomas, if I get out to California again anytime soon, maybe I'll meet up with you too. But yeah,
We'll just have to start traveling to meet all the fans.
We're just gonna have to take this show on the road. That's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to get our Patreon off the ground and fund that and just get in the van and go all around the country. All right,
Exactly.
take nerd to the people. But yeah, so next week's episode looks awesome. I can't wait, and I'm pretty excited about that. Yes, so. Now, we're going to give our final numbers on this, and then we're going to talk about some of the nerd stuff going on this week that some of you are alluding to. So, Tiff.
Yes.
1 through 10, what would you give this episode?
Probably have to give it about a 6.
6?
Yeah. It's not like super high up there. It's not below a 5, but it had some great elements. Not one of my favorites, but I still liked it and it progressed the story. So
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Ooh.
Just because there were a lot of good. I mean, I almost want to give it a 7, to be honest with you. I'm torn because there were a lot of good things in the episode. It's just that overall the episode wasn't just the greatest episode. So
that's the only reason I put
and I'm trying not to be.
Things brought it down.
And I'm trying not to be too harsh on the episode, honestly, because we've had so many good episodes this season that I don't want to be too harsh on the episode because I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to make it seem like I hated the episode because I didn't. I just feel like it wasn't as good as some other episodes have been. So I'm going to go on record. I'm going to give it a 7 just to err on the side of it wasn't bad. It was still good. And it sounds like a lot of you guys are kind of right there with us between that 6 and 7 range. I think I saw an 8. So I think we're all kind of in agreement of kind of where it's at. Mm-hmm. So Skyfrost, real quick before we change beats here. Skyfrost says, "Wait, what is the next episode trailer?" So the next episode trailer, yes, it's like Happy Death Day or like Groundhog Day. From back in the day where basically she keeps going back in time. Well, I mean, I guess it's not like that because it didn't look like she keeps waking up to it, but she keeps reliving the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like she keeps going back in time trying to fix something because it looks like Cicada's killing people. Honestly, it looks like Cicada. I mean, it looked like Cicada killed. I'd have to rewatch the thing, but I think it looked like he may have killed Iris in there. He may have killed Killer Frost. He may have killed somebody else. Dibney. I think it was Dibney that he may have killed as well. So I don't know. So we'll have to see. But basically, she keeps going back in time trying to fix it, and she can't. So it'll be interesting to see how that
plays out
because we all know
like father like daughter though.
Yeah, well, because we all know that the Flash himself, Barry has really tried to go back in time several times to try to fix the timeline, and it just doesn't work. All right, so switching gears, we're gonna talk nerdy to you guys for a little while here, And the first thing that we're going to do, Caleb, we're going to get to yours because yours is the big one that I want to talk about, and that's Crisis of Infinite Earths. But I do want to talk about, let's see, who brought it up? Somebody brought it up earlier about Batman, about replacing Ben Affleck.
Thomas Dang also said Doom Patrol is coming in the next 10 days.
Yes, Doom Patrol is coming definitely here in the next 10 days. So Ethan, Jedi Master says, who do you think will be the best fit to replace Ben Affleck as Batman? Also, Gotham is getting better and better by every episode, and at least it will be on one more week till Bane comes in the next episode. So Gotham has been kind of hit or miss for me, honestly, this year. Hasn't been as good as I've wanted it to be, but I'm hoping that it really kicks in here towards the end. But so I agree with the comment that just came down the pipe here about nobody plays Batman better than Ben Affleck. Honestly, I mean, I love Michael Keaton. Don't get me wrong, because Michael Keaton.
But that's old school Batman.
That's old school Batman.
We're talking now.
As far as on-screen Batman, I'm sorry, but Ben just did such a great job. I mean, honestly, Ben did such an awesome job.
He did older Batman acting.
And I don't think that we're ever going to see probably more of a correct
authentic
on-screen version of Batman as was written there. Because it was right. He did a great job as Bruce Wayne. Did a great job as Batman. I mean, the warehouse scene alone in was it Batman versus Superman?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's just Batman. And then like on top of the rooftop in Justice League, great stuff. And that felt like old style Keaton Batman to me.
Both our moms' names are Martha.
Yeah, well, you know. But you know how I feel about that, though. I don't have a problem with that. So
I know. I just thought it was funny.
yeah, I feel. Let's see. Chicken Nugget says I feel like Christian Bale was the best movie as Batman, but Ben Affleck was the best. Was very comic book accurate and really fun to watch. So I love the Dark Knight trilogy. Well, I will say this. I love the first two movies. I discovered something about, and this is where we'll finish talking about Batman. I discovered something this week that I realized about myself. So I love I love Batman Begins. Batman Begins, I remember when Batman Begins came out and I fell in love with that movie. And The Dark Knight is just tremendous. I mean, that's one of the best comic book movies ever. I did not like The Dark Knight Rises. And I've realized something now, because now in the two iterations now that we've gotten of the storyline No Man's Land, between The Dark Knight Rises with Bane and all them taking over and Gotham gets cut off from the rest of the world, and with Gotham, the TV show right now, I realized that I really hate that storyline. I just really hate that storyline. I cannot suspend my disbelief to think that there'd be an American city that that the government would just go, oh yeah, we're gonna give it to some hoodlums and some thugs. I mean, like they can't come in. I mean, you're talking about the government here. I mean, we're talking about the armed forces, right? Like, I just have a real hard time bringing myself to even think that like some thugs like the Penguin and, you know, the Joker, whoever else is there, Bane, I don't care who's there, some Batman villain, that the government wouldn't come in and go, nope. Mm-hmm. Right? So I just don't know. That's just how I feel. I don't think that I like that whole concept very much at all. So Caleb, let's see. So that's my Batman. That's my Batman. Who do I think should play Batman? I don't know at this point. I'll tell you who I don't want.
Still too new.
Yeah, it's still too new. I don't want Jake Gyllenhaal. I know a lot of people. No. I know a lot of people are talking about him. I do not want Jake Gyllenhaal. I just do not see him as Batman. And also, the one that I heard today that I just went, oh dear Lord, God help us. They're actually talking about Robert Pattinson.
What?
Yeah.
Sparkly vampire Batman?
Yeah. And I watched this whole thing with John Campea today talking about what a great pick that would be because Robert Pattinson is such a, is it Patterson or Pattinson?
Pattinson.
Pattinson, that he's such a great actor, and apparently he's been in all these great movies for the last few years, and he's really been building up his repertoire. And they're saying it's not fair um, to even put him, talk about the whole sparkly vampire thing anymore. But man,
Oh yeah,
Robert
Skyfrost says
Pattinson.
they said that Nick Jonas was gonna play Batman.
No, Nick Jonas wants to play Batman, but that's like me. That's like me releasing something and going, "Hey, I'd like to put my name in for Batman." No, it doesn't work that way. Nick Jonas is not going to be Batman. Nick Jonas can wish all that he wants, but he's not a serious contender to be Batman. So yeah. So, but I definitely I don't want Robert Pattinson. I don't care. I mean, I saw a picture of him and he actually looked pretty decent, but I don't want him. I don't want somebody with baggage because honestly, I don't want them casting another person where all of a sudden the whole internet blows up and I don't think Warner Brothers can handle that at this point, right? I don't think that we can handle one more casting that everybody is going to just act like is the end of the world. And I think if you cast Robert Pattinson, you're going to have that problem, right? Seth MacFarlane.
There you go.
You know what? I would rather see Seth MacFarlane as Batman before I would Robert Pattinson. I will say that. All right, so now let's talk about DC on TV. And let's go to Caleb's talking, because Caleb mentioned the fact he said, let's talk about what's going on with Crisis on Infinite
Peter.
Earths. Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it was revealed this week that all the shows obviously got renewed for the next season.
Skyfrost said I would like to see you as Batman, Enosh.
I'm Batman. I'd have to cut. See, the only problem is I'd have to cut my beard off, and I'd look like a 12-year-old in the mask. Although, little known fact about Enosh here, when I was 12, I had a buddy who had a Batman mask, and we actually made a little Batman film because he had a VHS recorder. I don't know whatever happened to it. But it was like 89, 90. It was like right around the Michael Keaton Batman craze time, and so he actually owned the camcorder and owned the mask. But all of our friends, when we got together to make the little film and do whatever we were gonna do, they all agreed to let me be Batman because they said I looked better in the mask than he did.
Nice.
So there you go. There you go. Maybe, who knows? I'll be Batman. I'll definitely take the paycheck for sure. Yeah, Caleb, you can send me whatever you want to send me, bud. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about this. So it came out this week that all the shows got renewed, all the DC TV shows got renewed. But there's an article that talked about where basically Crisis on Infinite Earths is going to take everybody, and what is going to happen, because all the shows got renewed. We got Batwoman that's going to pilot, and my guess is, I mean, it's going to have to be really bad for them not to pick it up at this point, because it stirred a lot of, people want to see this and people want that show. So it would have to be really bad, I think, I mean, like, why show it if it's that bad, right? So there's that. But the producers, and you can find this on different outlets or whatever. You can find it on darkhorizons.com. I like that website. Garth Franklin runs that website, and it seems to be a pretty good website for news, and I've gone to that for years now. They're pretty reliable, and they're not ones to run with stupid stories and just just try to put out something just to spice stuff up, and just put out just garbage news. They really thoroughly check that stuff pretty well. But the interview said that Crisis on Infinite Earths is going to change things up. One of the things that came out was that more than likely it's going to change, and I figured this as well, that Supergirl's Earth, which I think is what Caleb was alluding to. If you could pull up Caleb's comment about, he mentioned a couple of things, and Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've thought this way for a while, that they've needed to do something to correct these Earths being apart, and so the thinking is that Crisis on Infinite Earth is going to fix the issue of them being on different Earths. And so Supergirl's Earth will be the Flash's Earth, will be Arrow Earth. And so we'll bring in characters like Superman and Supergirl into the Arrowverse proper. And I think that that's a really good idea. I think that that's something that's been long overdue. I think that something like Crisis on Infinite Earths is what you use to do that. And yeah, I think that that's a better fit, honestly. Also, though, here's the thing: they also said that they're going to take some heavy hits during Crisis on Infinite Earths. So everything is renewed right now, but the question was asked, will anybody die during Crisis on Infinite Earths? And they basically kind of alluded to the fact that yes, anything was on the table at this point, and yes, people could actually die. Heroes could die. Other people on the shows could die in Crisis on Infinite Earths, because this is Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that's what they said. Look, they said we don't know how closely. They said we don't know how closely it's going to all be connected, or how closely they're going to follow the comic book of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Obviously, they'll take liberties and they'll do kind of their own thing. But they said this is Crisis on Infinite Earths still, so it's got to be huge and it's got to have ongoing effects. So what they said was that, quite frankly, people could definitely end up dead. And they said this is going to change things for the future of DC TV, in the fact that eventually we're going to get, as old shows start to go away, right? As old shows start to hit the bricks, so to speak. Unfortunately, Caleb, I can't check it because I'm using my phone. That's the only problem. I can't check it while we're here on live, and I'd love to talk to you about it live. So I know you started saying some things while we were talking about other things, but now that we're on this, feel free to hit something up here.
Ethan Jedi Master said Deadpool could be Batman. He even said it in Deadpool 2.
But so they're talking about, though, that as they're phasing out other shows, Crisis on Infinite Earths will now open up doors for new DC shows. Mm-hmm. So I think that that's a really cool thing, because they said that they want this DC universe that they've created to not end with these shows.
Yeah.
They want to expand on these shows.
Which is smart.
That's tremendous. And I think that's eventually where we could get, say, a Superman TV show eventually down the line. Or, like, what happens when the Flash goes out? Like, do you introduce a Green Lantern? Do you introduce an Aquaman? A TV Aquaman?
Braden said they should make a Jonah Hex show, which I think wouldn't be a bad idea, because they've shown Jonah Hex on Legends a handful of times throughout the seasons. Yeah. And the guy who plays him has done kind of a pretty good job. So to actually learn more about his backstory would be cool.
Yeah. I don't think, Sky, I don't think the Flash is going to die anytime soon. I think that they're going to do what they need to do for as long as they can do it. But I think things will definitely look different after Crisis on Infinite Earths. Okay, and Caleb chimed in here, said, some Earths are left untouched, including Earth 19, home to Breacher and his daughter. I can see that. Yeah, Gypsy, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I don't think that all the Earths are gonna change, but I think that there will be some major changes, and I definitely believe that was it Earth 38 is where Supergirl is, I believe.
Think so.
I believe that Earth will get swallowed up into the Arrowverse. What do you mean changes? So, I don't know, because really it could be anything at this point, right? Everything is speculation at this point. With the way things are right now on The Flash, I don't think that we have to worry so much about Barry dying, because in Crisis, Barry died, and then Wally took over as the Flash. Only thing is it was a different Wally. That was long before the Wally that we have now, right? The African-American Wally. But the Wally that we have in the Flash is that Wally. And the thing is that the guy who plays Wally, I can't think of his name right now, but he hasn't really been available
on Legends or on Flash.
to be Wally. So I don't see a short-term thing where they replace Barry with Wally. I just and I don't think that Kid Flash is as I just don't think Wally's character is that strong, and I don't think that the actor is strong enough really to carry the show.
Like Grant Gustin.
Just yeah, like Grant Gustin is. I just don't see it. So maybe they do something different, right? Maybe I mean, because like Caleb said, Kid Flash in the original is absorbed into the Speed Force. Maybe they do something where they kind of switch it up, where instead of the Flash dying, Kid Flash dies, sacrifices himself. You know, maybe that's the case. So okay, so back to Caleb here. Caleb says, for Green Arrow, Kid Flash, Superman, and Martian Manhunter sacrifice themselves to stop the Anti-Monitor. I could see Green Arrow and Kid Flash, and maybe Martian Manhunter, because I think that probably his time on Supergirl is probably running its course. The more that we see from him on the show, I don't think they'll do it with Superman. I don't think that they'll do it with Superman. I think that even though they trash on Superman, and even though they haven't developed Superman as much as they want to, or as much as we want to, I should say.
Tyler Hoechlin to play him?
Yeah. If they're gonna go forward eventually with something Superman, I think that's the thing. Is like I think that they're kind of keeping Superman in their back pocket, right? That he's there. They're not going to do too much with him because eventually they may do something with him, and eventually we may get to see that whole thing where
they're gonna take him out of Supergirl's shadow.
Well, they're going to have a kid.
Yeah.
Right, and so we could see a little bit of that storyline with Jonathan Kent,
an actual Superboy.
Superboy, yeah, and so get to see it, and I think that would be a really cool
Caleb mentioned that though.
Did he?
He just said Clark does not get an immediate resurrection story. Instead, the CW will adapt the reign of the Supermen for the following crossover, setting up the spin-off called Lois, Clark, and Superboy.
Okay, Caleb, you're my best friend. You're my new best friend, man. Dude, can we like get Caleb a contract with WB?
Subscribe to his newsletter?
Oh my gosh, because that right there, I would literally have to run off screen if that happened, because I'd be crapping myself.
Just like you did with Titans.
Oh my gosh. That would be so amazing. If the next crossover was Reign of the Supermen. Now see, okay, so I will say this. If that was the case and they killed off Superman in that fashion and they did that, then I could see them killing off Superman. Yep, I'll give you that. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. But man, holy cow. I'm just thinking of the ramifications right now of a Reign of the Superman crossover. But it's like, okay, but part of that too is I just feel like if you only did it in 4 episodes or 5 episodes, it would just be so glanced over. And I just feel like I would want it to be spaced out, you know, over time. I don't want it to just happen like that. But man, Caleb, that is a tremendous idea. That is an awesome thought right there, buddy. So Earth 1, Batman, and Earth 38, Batman merge together and retain memories from both Earths.
Ooh.
Yes,
nice.
and yes. I like that, Caleb. That would be a great thing to see. And if anybody's going to do that, it should be Batman.
He also said Earth 1, Batman went on a time-traveling journey after the death of Jason Todd. And Earth 38, Batman tends to stay in Gotham, so this would explain why neither showed up before the crossover. It's got some tasty.
I know, right, Thomas? Thomas said, Caleb is going all in. Caleb might be a god. He's sitting in the chair, man. He knows all.
Today, yeah.
Man, things are getting spicy in here. Yes.
Starting to be the thinker here.
Oh my goodness, man. Caleb, you should be a writer, dude. Those are great. I mean, those are fanboy things, right? I mean, those are all amazing fanboy things that I would absolutely love to see. And I mean, and those are things we could only hope for, you know. And that's the thing. It's like, unfortunately, we all know that when stuff actually gets done, it's something a whole lot simpler. I just I commented. I don't know if you guys are Star Wars fans, but there's a YouTuber named Mike Zero, and the only difference between what we're doing right now is we're speculating, right? We're all talking about what we'd love to see, and there's a huge difference between talking about what we'd love to see and us sitting
And
up
what's the
here
truth?
and us sitting up here like reporting, that. Like with Caleb there. Caleb's not saying, "Hey, I've got insider information that they're going to do Reign of the Supermen and Batman from Earth 1 and Earth 38 are going to come together and they're going to do all this stuff, right?" So Mike Zero, I love him. He's a fun guy. I like watching his stuff sometimes, but man, and he does these videos. He puts out like 4 or 5 videos a day talking about what's going to be in the next Star Wars movie. And I finally ended up having to leave a comment on one of his videos because I'm like, dude, he's got literally everything happening in episode 9 right now. I mean, the stuff that he's reporting, that he's saying that they've got insider information or whatever, and it's all like Reddit stuff, that's like you got to take with a grain of salt. But it's like he's got like Anakin Skywalker coming back, plus Darth Vader coming back, plus Obi-Wan coming back, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker coming back to life, Snoke coming back to life. I mean, like everything. There's like the netherworld of the Force is going to be shown. Rey and Kylo are going to get together and have
So
a
no
love
one
child.
actually stays dead. What?
And so it's like I just commented on this thing. I'm like, dude, like everything is not going to happen. Like that's like he's got Ezra Bridger coming in back again. He's got Ahsoka Tano coming into the movie, and it's like, dude.
It's not a family reunion.
Okay, take a step back. Take a step back from the Reddit. All right, for just a minute. Every rumor is not true, but that's the thing is as fanboys, sure, would I love to see everything in the kitchen sink in there? Yes, right? But everything can't happen, right? And so but I love Caleb's ideas there about he does Big Tasty. I mean, he's got Palpatine coming back. He's got, my goodness, he's pretty much got everybody doing everything you could possibly imagine. And he does 4 or 5 videos about it a day. So it's interesting.
He does, etc.
Etc. Caleb says, Alan Scott is introduced and will have a minor role, and Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan are mentioned by name. His role will be expanded through Legends of Tomorrow, who will move to fighting aliens in the following season. That would be cool as well. That would all be really cool stuff. That would all be really, and I think the whole Alan Scott thing. I mean, I think that I think people want to see more of him, and I think DC wants to do more to promote that character. I mean, even though we have Hal Jordan, we have Jon Stewart, there's been a lot more with him over the last few years, and so. Big Tasty says, I heard that he's not even really a Star Wars fan, that he just does it for money. Not sure how true that is though. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't want to get in, it's hard, right? Because like I'm a YouTube watcher too, right? I'm like right there with you guys. And that stuff's hard, as a nerd, as somebody who loves stuff like that. It's just like when I see stuff, I don't know. And I've watched a lot of his old stuff, so I don't want to say that he is one way or another. I don't want to go on record saying that. But it's frustrating. Sometimes the boys just look at me because I'll watch his videos or whatever, and the boys look at me and go, "Why do you watch this? It just ticks you off." And I'm like, "I know, because it's like it's frustrating because not everything is going to happen in one movie, and tie all this stuff. I mean, he's got it right now where I think he's reporting that episode 9 is going to get split up into 2 episodes. So there's going to be an episode 10, plus it's going to set up the next trilogy. Plus, it's kind of out of control. Caleb again says Smallville Earth appears in some capacity with a Lois Lane cameo, probably happening, and maybe Tom Welling, Michael Rosenbaum, or Justin Hartley make a cameo appearance. Sean Ashmore, Jimmy Olsen might appear, as might Lana Lang. Allison Mack will obviously not appear, and Chloe won't be mentioned by name. But if Smallville Oliver appears, he may refer to his wife once or twice, yes, especially if he meets Felicity, yes. That would be interesting. Skyfrost says, what I think that the Titans are going to come through a portal to the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't think we're gonna see too much of a crossover between the DC universe unless and this is a big what if, right? Uh, they're having a problem getting people to sign up for the DC universe. So if I could see trying to make some kind of connection, maybe if they wanted to somehow promote the the whole connection thing between the DC universe and, of course, the CW. But I don't think we'll see that. But yes, Big Tasty, it is clickbait. It's basically what it is. It's clickbait. I actually want to do a video once that just correct comes out and says this video is clickbait. Don't click on it. Just see how many views that actual video gets, because people will click on anything. So Caleb just had a really interesting.
I was reading.
Oh, did you read? Okay.
When I stepped off, he's got some very great ideas.
Yeah. Tangent. What if Felicity Smoke and Chloe Sullivan are doppelgangers? I would be down with that. I could deal with that. I mean, Chloe Sullivan, honestly, is like one of my favorite characters of all time. And it's amazing because they created her for Smallville.
Well, Chloe and you like Lois from Smallville.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like characters, new characters, a lot of times when you see a new character created for a series, to a traditionally, especially like something like the Superman universe,
yeah,
you wouldn't think that you'd just be able to make a new character and it would be so accepted. But Chloe Sullivan was such an amazing addition to the Superman mythos. And the first real new edition that's been made in a long time, and even since. And the fact that they were able to introduce Chloe and now she's in the comics, it's a shame that Allison Mack has gone the route that she's gone and had the issues that she's had. Because, what a tremendous, awesome thing to be able to create a character like that. And I'm really bummed because right now I'm sitting here looking at my Smallville pops, and it's like there's Green Arrow, and there's Clark, and there's Clark turning into Superman, and there's Lois, and there's Lex Luthor. There's no Chloe Sullivan pop. And that bums me out because I really feel like that's probably because of her mistakes and they just don't want to do it right now. And so I'm kind of bummed about that because Chloe as a character, like I've been talking about, we've been rewatching it. We're in the middle of season 5 right now with the boys, and to see her arc, to see her story arc, man, it was just tremendous. So I would love to see the character continue on, and maybe that's
especially when she found out the secret. It was just cool.
Yeah,
cool. You're good.
And even if they had just like a little bit of a connection there, for an episode or two where we see all these characters like Caleb was talking about, just to make it worth everybody's while to see all these different Earths, and see all these different versions. And so you have the Smallville Earth, and you know what? Maybe something with the Crisis messes things up where Chloe looks like Felicity.
Yeah.
Because
they could get away with it.
Because Green Arrow, Justin Hartley's Green Arrow is married to Chloe. So that would be...
and he said you could refer to it as his wife without having a show.
Yeah, and I could deal with that. I could definitely deal with that, and I'd be fine with that. Best case scenario, we'd all love to see her come back, but we know that she's not going to. So, yep, just give her short hair and take away the glasses, and she'd be perfect. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So I think that the cool thing to take away from all this is that anything. Oh, Caleb's got one more. He says, but anything can happen with Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I think that's what the article was basically alluding to, was the fact that anything can happen. And I agree, Black Lightning, I don't think they're ready yet to either bring it in or just, I think they're just going to leave it for what it is, because I think it does fine on its own.
This season's pretty good, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that they're going to leave Black Lightning alone because I don't think that it needs to be a part of the other DC universe for it to succeed. If it gets to a point where they feel like it does, they may bring it in, like Caleb said there at the end, maybe bring it in with the whole Red Skies thing or whatever. But I don't think that it needs the rest of the DC universe right now to do that. So I think we're good with that. But I think that that's the thing to take away from this article, is that there's going to be some heavy stakes with Crisis and that we're going to see new shows come about because of it. New characters come out, and you know, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. That being said, I don't know if you guys seen, we put out a video today about 3 different possibilities. I think William said he had to leave, but good talking to you, William. Probably won't see you. We might do another one of these on Thursday night, even though we're
No Orville.
no Orville. We may just get together and talk, depending upon what kind of information comes out in the next couple days. But I just kind of wanted to close off with talking about this Superman stuff. So we put out a video today of 3 reasons why DC might actually be working on a Superman movie. Oh, Caleb says, what about Darkseid? The villain will be Anti-Monitor. Leave Darkseid for the DCU. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you later, Skyfrost. We'll see you later, William. But yeah, so that's last thing. This Superman thing, it looks like, I mean, they offered James Gunn a Superman movie.
2 options.
Yeah, they offered him either. See you later, Skyfrost. Thank you for being with us. We're always glad to have you with us, Skyfrost. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. But so they offered James Gunn either to do the Suicide Squad or Superman. And he actually did some research on Superman and decided to go with the whole team up kind of thing because
that's what he does. He does well with it. Did
Yeah.
that for Guardians.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good thing. But it's interesting because it just shows us that it's out there. So if they are talking up to him about that, who else are they talking to, right? Who else are they? It's obviously there. So that just makes me feel so good as a Superman fan that it's at least being talked about. Because for too long, Superman has not been part of the conversation. Yeah. And the very fact that they actually offered it to him says that they are into putting together a Superman movie. So I'm very excited to hear that, and I'm excited to see that they actually are into it. But now I want to get you guys' opinions though about what do you think about all this stuff with the DC shakeup though, because we haven't really talked since all this stuff came out, and I haven't even released. We actually shot a whole video, and I may still put it out.
You're not going to?
Yeah, I'm going to. I just haven't got around to it yet, and I'm just hoping it's not too late to put it out now.
It shouldn't be. People are still going to want to.
Yeah, Gunn is going to go dark, not DC dark, but like Deadpool dark. Yeah, I agree with that. So we've got a video that we did. It's about probably about 25 minutes long, because I did a rant video about what I thought about this whole DC mess and like what's going on with Ben Affleck. I mean, my thing is DC just needs to man up and just say what's going on. Just tell us what's going on, right? I mean, it's frustrating because even with this, there's still people now holding out hope that Ben Affleck is not done.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I can't fault him for that because nobody has actually said that the man's actually done because his own.
They're just saying that they're doing a younger version, which means you don't need him for a younger version.
You don't need him for that movie, that particular movie, but they've kind of chosen their words wisely with that. And now you got what's his name, Fisher, who played Cyborg in Justice League. And he's come out and said but he's like almost like feeding the fire on this thing now because he said, well, as far as I know, they can still use Ben Affleck in the future to be our Batman, to be our present day Batman. So what does that mean? You know, like what's going on here? Who's in charge? Who is in charge? What is happening? When we don't get a straight answer, and that's my problem right now with Warner Brothers, is they don't give a straight answer about what's happening.
William said that we should do a 2-hour stream of just nerding out because there's no Orville.
Because there's no Orville. There you go. I just don't understand this whole ordeal with like between Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, why Warner Brothers won't just come out and give us a straight answer. Either they're in or they're out. And if or we're negotiating, we're talking, we're trying to come to terms. But this whole thing of just leaving it out there, I think is doing more harm than good because people are getting ticked off. And I know when I saw last week that Ben Affleck, when we felt like that was it, right? And he's done, people were
Up in arms.
people were up in arms about it and really ticked off about it. I mean, Ben's got, I've seen a bunch of different reports. I've seen reports that he has one more movie left on his contract, and I've seen that he's got 2 movies left on his contract that Warner Brothers can use at any point that they want to. So that contract, I mean, Ben Affleck's contract is done. The negotiation is done. That's they've already got him locked in for that. Henry Cavill, they would still need to do it. Caleb, do you really think so? So, see, I agree. I agree, Caleb, that he's not the big actor that he may think he is. But I've seen some mixed feelings on that. I've seen the reports too that say that he's this diva that wants more money and whatnot. But I have also seen that that a couple of different takes on that. One, that it's not him, that it's his agent that's kind of pushing that. And I know that it's still your agent, right? So you can still it's still a part of you. So, but that it's his agent who is actually Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ex-wife. And so, like, I've seen reports that yes, he's this diva and he wants more money. I've seen the reports that it's not him, it's his agent. And I've seen reports that it's not that at all, that it's just that Warner Brothers is hemming and hawing and just trying to, like, Henry wants to play Superman, and he wants to play the Superman that we've wanted him to play. And everything that I've seen so far out of Henry Cavill, to be honest with you, every public appearance, every time that there's like some candid video of him just on the street with fans and stuff like that. And also, we personally know somebody who knows Henry Cavill. And actually,
we were supposed to have dinner with him.
We were supposed to have dinner with Henry at one point, and it just didn't happen while they were shooting Batman versus Superman here in Detroit. So, and so I wish that I would have got a chance to meet him, because I wish that I would have been able to have a conversation with him to be able to kind of gauge his personality, because my friend Scott said that he's just absolutely down to earth, and that he's a really great guy, that he's a really nice guy, that he gets what being Superman is all about. And I've seen that with all the candid videos that I've seen of him online with fans and things like that, that he's gentle, he's nice, like he takes time. I've heard stories about how he sticks around and signs autographs for people outside of venues and things like that for hours when he doesn't have to. Not even things that like are events that he's paid to be there or anything, just out on the street, and he has stuck around literally for long periods of time to sign autographs and meet people. So I don't know, like it's hard for me to say either way, and I don't really want to say either way, because I hear all these different things. Caleb says the dude went to Vegas during the filming of Justice League and played poker, smoked weed, and got drunk, all while wearing the Superman suit. He's definitely an a-hole. I haven't seen that. I have not seen that report at all. Caleb, if you could send me that report, or that if there's an article or something about that, because I haven't seen that, to be quite honest with you. I haven't seen that particular story. So I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I just know this. He's a good Superman.
He's my Superman.
I love his portrayal of Superman, and I really don't want them to change Superman. If we've lost Ben Affleck, we've lost Ben Affleck, and we got to move on from that. But I just really don't want to lose Henry Cavill. And to me, see, I hear he's coached, not trying to be a downer. We can't know. I know, and that's the thing, Caleb. I just don't know. I just don't know who he is. All I do know is this: the person that I know who does know him, who has hung out with him, worked out with him. Actually, Henry Cavill dated this person's cousin. And that's why we kind of knew them, because when he was here filming Batman versus Superman here in Michigan, we were supposed to have dinner with him. He was going to go over to my friend Scott's house and have dinner, but the production wrapped early.
And he had to get to Chicago.
And he had to get to Chicago because the production moved from Detroit to Chicago like overnight. And so they went there early. And so unfortunately the dinner didn't happen. And I was really bummed about that because I was losing my mind just because Scott just came up to me one time after a church service and showed me a picture of him and Henry Cavill together, working out together and everything, and just said, hey, we're going to have Henry over for dinner. And I was like, oh, dude, that is so awesome. And I was just thinking, man, that's awesome for you guys, right? That's cool. And he says to me, well, no, he says, if it happens, you're invited, man. You're coming over. I know what a big Superman fan you are. You are definitely there. And so I hoped against hope, but it just didn't happen. And so, bummer. But yeah, so,
That's one thing I don't know if you would have been able to keep your cool, though.
I know, that's.
I think you would have nerded out or, fanboyed out all over
I'm
him.
always pretty cool when we meet a celebrity. I've been...
Yeah, but that's been 5 minutes here and there, 10 minutes tops at a Comic-Con where they have handlers.
I got to spend a whole evening across the table from Henry Cavill.
Not peeing your pants.
Yeah, that might be hard. But yeah, so like I said, and everything that Scott has ever said about Henry was that he was super nice, super impressed by him, that they actually talked about things like faith and other things. And so I don't know. Who knows, right? I mean, you never know when you're going to meet somebody. If there's one thing that I've learned about celebrities and going to like Comic-Cons and meetings, because we've met a lot of celebrities just at Comic-Cons and other places. I mean, I've met celebrities out and about and different things like that. You just never know when you meet them. And people have bad days and people have good days. And celebrities do as well. And so you just never know. And so it's hard to judge people by that. Because like everybody talks about what a great guy John Schneider is. We didn't have the greatest experience.
We don't know if he had a bad day that day.
But I wouldn't sit here and say that John Schneider's a jerk. Just that when we met him, I think that there was probably stuff going on during his day that he was having a different challenging kind of day, right? And so that was what it was. But it'll be interesting. I really hope against hope that Henry Cavill is still in. I hope that there are rumors that he actually did shoot the Shazam cameo, and so I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that it's a big surprise that we're going to get, and we're going to see exactly what's going on here soon. But I don't know. We'll see. But I think the consensus is that with all the, I find it interesting that with all the things that people complain about the DCEU and the things that they don't like, they still wanted Ben Affleck to stay, and they still want Henry Cavill to stay. They just want some of the other things changed and rearranged, but they still want those main components there. And I just don't think it's a good idea to change your Batman and Superman right now, at least in that universe. And I just think that this new Matt Reeves movie is either going to have absolutely nothing. It's going to be like this Joker standalone thing, where it's going to have absolutely nothing to do with the DCEU and be a total standalone thing on its own, or it's going to be this kind of prequel-esque kind of thing where it tells a story of a younger
Batman.
Yeah, younger Batman. Just please keep Pattinson away from that. Keep Robert Pattinson away from that, and Nick Jonas and Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal will... Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think that Gyllenhaal will do it, given the fact that Gyllenhaal is now Mysterio in the MCU. So that's another... Oh, who's the other guy, too? The guy that they got the meme of that's always like, hey, girl. What is that? Who is that guy?
Big Tasty says, I don't know that I can back a Batman movie with any of those three actors.
I know. There's just no way. But that's the other guy that they keep talking about is, oh man, he's like you know who he was? In Saturday Night Live,
okay.
The first time that they did that sketch with the front bum thing with what's her name, with the alien abduction thing, he's the one in the alien abduction one. He's like, yes, ma'am. I can't think of his name.
Oh, dang it, that's going to...
Yeah, he's like this ladies' man. Like all the ladies think he's super cute and stuff. But
he's actually married to an older woman. They have 2 kids.
I just don't see him as a manly Batman type. I don't see him that way. I see him more as kind of like
Gosling.
Yes, Ryan Gosling. I do not want to see Ryan Gosling as Batman. I'm sorry. Yes, look at there. William came right in there at the last second there, just after you told me. Yeah, I do not want to see a Ryan Gosling Batman. That is no. Please, God, no, don't let that happen. Um, I don't know. I guess I just have a certain picture for myself
You
when
know
I
what? He
think.
could be better than Kilmer.
See, Kilmer actually wasn't bad.
I'm joking.
Kilmer wasn't horrible. Kilmer was actually pretty decent.
He was better than.
Much better than George Clooney.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, he is too much of a pretty boy, you know, and so that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see these pretty boys being Batman. You need somebody who's great. Josh Brolin would have always made a great Batman, but now he's a little too old.
He would be good for Batman's dad, like Negan would.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like who I would cast as Batman, and it's just really hard right now.
William said, "Whatever your idea is, I probably will agree."
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great actors, but that doesn't mean that they can play Batman. And I totally reject this notion that that you can put the cowl on anybody and it just works. I don't buy that. Look at George Clooney. George Clooney did not work at all. No. George Clooney could play Bruce Wayne a little bit, but George Clooney played it all as George Clooney. When he did it, I mean, it was like, I mean, we make fun of Cicada and everything with the voice and everything, and of what's his name from Christian Bale and stuff with the whole voice thing, but seriously, the whole thing of like Clooney's Batman is basically Bruce Wayne going, "Hi guys, I'm Bruce Wayne," to his Batman, "Hi guys, I'm Batman." Like there's no change whatsoever, you know. Yeah, and he does. He apologizes for it because he knows it. He knew that he was in the wrong movie at the wrong time, and so I don't know. I think I'd probably have to think about the whole like who Batman should be, and I think I may put some thought into that and actually do a video about.
William actually just said you should do a video on actors that could play Batman.
Yes, so you know what? I think I might do that. I do kind of like the Armie Hammer thing. I don't think he's been in enough movies yet to say that that's the guy. But, you know, Armie Hammer was actually going to play, you know, he played the Lone Ranger. Mm-hmm. And he was actually already cast as Batman.
I think of Arm & Hammer when you say that.
I know, it's a crazy name.
It is.
But he was actually already cast as Batman because there was a Justice League movie that was supposed to come out about 10 years ago or so called Justice League Mortal, which was mostly unknown actors. And you can actually find a table read for that. If you ever want to know what that Justice League movie would have been, look up Justice League Mortal script reading or something like that here on YouTube. It's like 2 hours long, but they did it at like this comic book shop. And it's actually an interesting read because it's not horrible. It's not really bad, but they had DJ Controna or Cortrona, whatever his name is, as Superman. And I don't agree with that casting either. Megan Gale was Wonder Woman, and she definitely looks the part of Wonder Woman.
Thomas Dink said, "Wow, I can't believe you know that."
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Got that DC knowledge. I got that DC knowledge. I got that DC knowledge. Got that DC knowledge. Okay, still better than Maroon 5's performance. Which I'll tell you this, I'll give you my thoughts on what the perfect Super Bowl halftime show would be if y'all watch the halftime show. Here's what they need to do. Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al Yankovic needs to be the halftime guest. And
he also needs to host SNL.
Yes, he also needs to host SNL and be the musical guest. But
he needs to Timberlake that stuff.
Weird Al, yes, I like that. Weird Al needs to be the musical guest for the Super Bowl. And check this out. He performs with a lot of the people that he's parodied. So they bring him up on
like Lady Gaga or
Eminem. You know. You can even bring Queen in and do like another one, Rides the Bus from way back when. I mean, you could bring in Huey Lewis in the News for I Want a New Duck. You could do, oh my goodness. I mean, there's just so many Weird Al songs that you could do.
But then the piece de resistance would be.
Yeah. What?
Michael Jackson.
Oh well, yeah. Then you do
a hologram.
Yes. You do the hologram Michael Jackson tribute thing, which would be a parody of the whole Tupac hologram thing. I mean, it would be perfect. And I'm telling you what, right now, $1 billion idea.
I agree, Big Tasty. I laughed out loud to that one.
What's that?
I'm not paying for that. He said the Alexa commercial with Harrison Ford was pretty funny though.
Yes, there were a couple things there, but yeah, man, just funny stuff. But all right, guys. Well, it's about that time. But yeah, so I think I might have to put a Batman video together. I'm gonna have to put my brain to that and see who I think could play Batman, because I'm not
Big
sure.
Tasty said, "What about the guy from Kingsman? He might make a good younger Batman."
Eggsy? See, he's another one of those. See, I really love him in Kingsman, but he looks too much like a tiny boy to me.
Well, it would be a younger Batman.
I know, but to me, he doesn't have the Batman look. I heard some, what was it that I heard? Kevin Smith said something about Tom Cruise as,
I'm going to stop you right there. No. Talk about, I'm Batman. I'm Mission Impossible.
Oh, man. I can't remember if it was Batman. I basically saw this article like in passing, and I didn't even read it because I was like, I love Kevin Smith, don't get me wrong, but Kevin Smith comes up with some interesting ones sometimes. Yeah, that's my only problem with what's his name, who's in the Kingsman, is not his acting ability, because I definitely think that he could pull that off. Yes, Egerton. He could definitely pull that off. I just don't think that he has the physical presence to do it, and that would be my only.
And you think the young kid from Gotham does?
No. The guy who plays Bruce Wayne right now in Gotham.
Yeah.
No, that's my fear about the end of Gotham.
Having a younger
is having
Batman
him play Batman, because I think that he's played a really good young Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but not Batman.
But he still looks like he's 15 years old, and
yes, he probably is.
Well, and that's the thing, but like he's trying to play like I think 17 or 18 in the show right now,
not working.
And I'm sorry, but
you need to age him.
You gotta age him up. That's the one redeeming thing that I'm really hoping for, is that I've heard that they've said that there's going to be like a 10-year jump.
Oh, that they Ivy his role.
Yeah, and so they need to recast him if he's going to be Batman at the end. Because it looks like they're actually going to go full on Batman, and that's cool. But the kid who plays Bruce Wayne can't play Batman. Big
Tasty said, "Yeah, I didn't think about that. He doesn't necessarily have the size."
Yeah, he looks just like a young kid. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there who can. So.
And maybe being Point Dexter Lounge, you can do the video like you do at work, but then also get an idea from all of us here at Point Dexter Lounge that you can say, well, this is who Tiffany thinks this, Isaac Juan Kenobi thinks this.
There you go.
But ultimately, at the end of the video, you think who you think is going to be Batman.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be that'd be a great video to
good idea, William.
Put together. Thank you so much. I'll give you a shout out. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm Enosh, of course, along with the lovely
Tiff-tastic.
All right, and hey, we love you guys too. We love all you. What's up, Ruz? Yeah, we love talking to you guys. We love just having these conversations with you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best viewers and friends in the world. We're so thankful for you. No, we're so thankful for you guys, and you guys make this worth doing. So and I really love it. We always love putting out the individual videos and stuff. But man, when we have the live time with you guys, the chance to actually talk to people who watch the channel and who support us, we're just so grateful, and it's a lot of fun, and it really truly is what we say, a nerd family here at the Point Dexter Lounge. All right, guys, so until next time, we'll see you later, and be looking for a couple new videos this week that we'll be putting out, and then also maybe we'll come back Thursday night and do something. Unfortunately, I will not be here next Tuesday night, but they will be watching The Flash right along with you. And because
we're still watching The Flash.
That's right.
So we might as well watch it with you.
That's right.